So it has been a while since I have done anything live. Wow. Let's see if this all works. Right. G'day, g'day, g'day. Hello, everybody. Waiting to see who's going to be the first one. The first one in. Hey. Hello, guys. How are you? We still have, I believe, 25 minutes. I just got a post in the Telegram to make sure some people come across. But how are you all doing? Hi from Bulgaria. G'day, mate. I hope that you are doing really well already. We're gonna sit back, watch this like we're a nice, big, happy family. But I hope that you guys are all well. It has been a while since I've done anything live, so just hold out with me on any technical aspects. Just let me know if this works. Okay, so that you should be seeing now the other screen. Someone just say like, yo, or something. Oh no. Yep, works. Okay, sweet. So that is the second screen we're going to look at. We still have a little bit until this actually goes up. So I'm just going to... Right, some people should come across now. I'd like to post it in the old Telegram and we will see. So I want to know, like, what do you guys think of this? What is your reaction to this taking place, this occurring online? I gave my opinion on it, that maybe he was not the right one to conduct this, but at the same time, how many other people are actually willing to do it? And it is, like Josh says, it is incredibly intriguing. It is incredibly intriguing, this actually taking place, because it will be very, very surprising when it is actually happens. Like, how fearful do you think he actually was walking into the Kremlin? Like, I know personally, I would have been absolutely packing it in. But still very surprising. So throw easy pitches. Yeah, exactly. And I saw a lot of critiques online about this with journalists to leaders in general. And I think that it is completely correct, saying that too many journalists throw very easy questions at these officials and potentially have like pre-made, pre-selected questions. And that is an issue, because you sort of lose that element of surprise. G'day, Benny. I hope you're well, mate. You lose that element of surprise, and then at the same time, they can have a perfect answer set out, ready to go for it. So, yeah. But I think at the end of the day, whether you are for or against, however, of these interviews, that people are going to watch it. Like at the end of the day, this is how he remains both relevant, makes money, and something like this. Whether even if you're like the most anti this ever, do not tell me that you are not going to actually at some point watch this. And this will be the same with people who, like, they would say to their friends, maybe like, I'm never going to watch it. I'll never watch that. And I guarantee at night when you're by yourself, you go, I actually want to know what is being said. And I think a lot of people are against this, not because they're against the interview happening. I think a lot of people are against if some reasonable points are made. I think that's where actually a lot of the fear is. That's what I think. But we'll see. I felt a little bit like I took our jobs when now he stepped in and done these controversial interviews. And personally, I like doing these. But, I'm never, ever going to be the size of, I don't know what would classify Tucker as, I guess, personality, maybe. And then he can get these sort of things. So either way, it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how this actually all then goes down. I'm just fixing a couple of little bits and pieces on the stream, because I haven't used OBS for a very, very long time. But I hope that you are doing well. Also, yes, on the Ukrainian front, General Zaluzny has been fired by President Putin. Oh my God, President Zelensky. So, this is huge. That is a big thing. We've been waiting for this for an amount of time. We have known for a few months that there has definitely been, some friction between the two. Like, absolutely, we know there's been friction, and then, we have news this morning. It only just came up, literally, today, and look, people are retired. Well, officials never get sacked. They always end up retiring. But let's see because Kyiv Independent just put a thing up about this. Zelensky dismisses Chief Commander Zaluzny, appoints Syrsky in his place. Defense Minister Rustem Umerov said on the need to change leadership of the armed forces of Ukraine. Zelensky said he met with Commander-in-Chief and hinted at the commander's dismissal. Zelensky said he thanked him for 2 years of protecting Ukraine and discussed with him who could be in new leadership of the armed forces. Zelensky said the time for such reset is now. So I guess, what do you guys think of that happening? And that's pretty big news to replace your Commander-in-Chief, who is unbelievably popular. Sorry, I haven't been live for a long time. I'm like, but he's very, very popular. It'll be very interesting to see how this is actually taken in. But I guess we will wait and see. So when have we got? No, Budanov is not going to take over. Apparently, he actually rejected the role. No, the interview is going to be out in, I believe, well, if everything's correct, we have 19 minutes together, Legends, and then this is going up. But I also don't know, where it's going to be. I've got his website open, but what I don't understand, listen to me here, if I can change this. I don't know why on this website here, it wouldn't have a countdown timer and a blurred out, background or something, like a thumbnail, and then it will just come live. Like when you schedule a YouTube video. So it'll be very interesting to see if it actually goes live. It's going to be incredibly interesting to see, and I'm actually very, very, very surprised that it isn't actually on Twitter. I think, and I'm just critiquing here to, critique, but I would have thought it would have been in the best interest of both the platform of Twitter, or X or whatever we call it, and Elon, Tucker, et cetera, to have an exclusive Twitter thing, because it would break the record, I believe, for this. A couple of people saying, haven't seen you live since Israel. Yeah, I haven't really done many lives since. I really do like doing lives. It'll take me a little bit to get in the swing of everything again. But yeah, we will see. It's going to be live on Twitter. I believe it's going to be live on his website. Look, we will monitor Twitter as well. We will monitor everything. But yeah, he has said too, and Danny VDL brings up a good point here. He said no paywall on his website. Yeah, exactly. There is a join feature and stuff, and he has promised that this won't be behind a paywall. So to be honest, if this does crash, it's just going to be what it is, and we'll hang out with you guys for a little bit, and then we will try again. But I do think that there's going to be and we'll go from there. He said it will be on Twitter as well. Okay, then. Let's. I'll bring up a second window on Twitter, just in the background, just so we have, in case this happens. There's another vote today on Ukraine security aid packages too, which I don't know. I spoke in length about this yesterday, and my take on it, and of course I'm, Everyone knows that
Vladimir
I'm
Putin.
no political expert, especially in the American political system, but it doesn't make sense to if you just try the same thing again and again. Well, at the end of the day, it's not going to go through, and it's been like the same proposal seemingly every time. So it'd be interesting. Do you think Putin will announce peace conditions? Well, to be honest, Josh, Putin has actually spoken about peace and what deals would mean previously. Now, those conditions of which have been spoken about is absolutely for Ukraine side and the West, they see that is not the deal that they want to make. So then those fail every time. But it has been sort of well known that there is, if they wanted to have a negotiation, that the other side in this may be open to that. Are you going to show the interview live, Willie? Just here. I already answered this a million times. Yeah. So we're going to do like a reaction to this. We won't watch it like we'll end up watching the full thing, but I will have to start and stop when I want to talk about some point. So if you just want to watch it in as quick as you can, do that. But we're gonna mumble our way through it and then do it. And the interview should be live in 14 minutes. Should be. We've got Twitter open. We've got X open and the website. So Twitter or X. It's still twitter.com. I'm calling it Twitter. And yes, you will be able to hear it. It's going to be fine. Can't wait. When are you going to do something with History Legends? I actually have done an interview with History Legends. I'm going to see if I can actually get a copy of it to put up somewhere. But current city is not strategically significant when it starts. 15 minutes. Get all the beers. Yeah. Leo, I haven't seen you for a while. Mate, thank you. No. I'm happy to be here. I didn't even think of actually doing this until like last night. Someone was like, Willie, it's on tomorrow. You should be doing this. So yeah. Why not? We will do this. We'll have a look and we'll watch this together. Little watch party. It'd be good if you guys were all here. We could have some popcorn. Go through. What do you guys think is going to come of this? Do you think that the questions, do you think that they are going to be like, softer questions? Do you think it's going to be a legitimate interview? What do you guys make of how this is actually going to come to fruition? Nothing will come of it. I don't think anything will come of this as far as, changes to, the war effort. But it will be interesting to see exactly how that comes out. Saw the interview, all staged. Showing nothing but softballs. It's going to be scripted. Yeah, look, I could not imagine that it's going to not have at least a question sent over beforehand to have a think about what it is. But this is the thing with officials like this, and I'm not is any official like this, you're going to have questions submitted beforehand to it, and you're going to be given like a left and right of what you can ask. But I guess that's why we're here. We will see, and hopefully, Legends, it's not like that. Hopefully that we actually see some legitimate hard questions asked, and we have 12 minutes, probably under 12 minutes now, until that will go down. So yeah, we will see. But even then, I think holding an interview of this scale and this intensity in the Kremlin, I actually think that's an issue too, because there's already this intimidation factor where I should even say having it in Russia could be a problem for, how Tucker feels to actually ask these questions. Like it would be in a perfect world, and I know we don't live in a perfect world, then it would be in like a spot where no one has the influence. It would be in another country, meet in a room, do the interview, both go your separate ways. Because do you really think that the administration who's currently in power in America, do you really think that they are going to, put out, you really think they're going to put out too much help for Tucker if something goes wrong here and he gets arrested. Like, yeah. Yeah, Sersky. Yeah, so he's the new chief of the military in Ukraine. Plenty of interviews there. Yeah, heaps of people have interviewed Putin before, but not in the same way. This is going to, like, the active war happening on the border, and the tensions are higher than ever. William, atheist number 1, says, where is the interview taking place? And can get me a HIMARS when I need one. I don't know if I can get you a HIMARS, mate. Thanks, William. But the interview is taking place on his website and on Twitter. But we have a second window. Look at this technology. We have a second window open here. I'm guessing this is the page of which it's going to then show up on. And then we should be able to watch together. And I want what I really want is I want your input on this too. So of course in this chat we're going to have people who are neutral. We're going to have people on the pro-Ukrainian side. We're going to have people on the pro-Russian side. We're going to have, whatever in the middle. And this is, there's a whole spectrum, if you will. There's a whole spectrum of where people lie on that. It's not just you are pro this or pro that. People fall across it. So and I think we'll get a good idea coming back to see. You need an account and pay $9 to see it, Willie. Well, he did say specifically in this video, specifically in this one here, he said that this will not be behind a paywall to make it accessible. So I guess we will see. Willie, did you see America passed a bill to give Ukrainian aid? No, I haven't actually seen that. I know that was going through today. Can anyone actually confirm that? Probably going to be boring. Emperor's finest. Putin will likely repeat some talking points he always does. Yeah, it could be, mate. But thank you, Goosey. Cheers for this, Willie. I think it's going to be quite soft as Tucker seems extremely partisan against Ukraine. The big tragedy for me is that it's become a political football in the USA. Oh, yeah, absolutely is going to be used for, politics. If you don't think that the people enter into these interviews with, an agenda in mind, and I don't care what level of interview this is, I could be interviewing my local council member and he's going to come into it with a political objective in mind. So let me have a look. Senate advances Ukrainian aid. So the Senate has backed procedural motions 67-32, exceeding the 60 vote threshold to advance the bill, with 17 Republicans voting in favour. Right. Schumer said this is a good first step. The bill is essential for our national security, for the security of our friends in Ukraine, in Israel, for humanitarian innocent civilians in Gaza and Taiwan. Interesting. So then that leads through to the House, and then we'll see if that pushes through in there. But that's interesting that has gone through. To be honest, I actually didn't expect that would make it through today. So there's going to be some big funding going into Ukraine. There's $60 billion potentially still going through. Senate hasn't finished yet. Oh, right. I don't know what I was reading then. I was reading that on Al Jazeera. Yeah, I think Paul brings up a good point. Who cares if it's used for political purposes? We've been listening to Zelensky for 2 years now. Let's listen to the other side. I think that, mate. I think you're correct that, if you want a Zelensky interview, there's been a million. This is like when I did, 50 Ukrainian interviews. I did one interview then of a Russian medic, and people lose their mind. Oh, it's live. It's live. Okay. Oh, shit. Where is it? Is it on his? God damn. Wait. Someone said it's live. It's not on his Twitter.
We're in Moscow tonight.
Do I need an account? Wait, let me read your comments. I'll just buy an account if I need. You trolling me. You dogs. You still got 5 minutes. Don't be too... You got me. It's up for me. No account. We will see in 5 minutes. To be honest, having the website crash here would be completely within the reality of this actually happening. You can just play it from his webpage. Right, so I go on the webpage, the Vladimir Putin interview. Mate, put this as yet. Yep, here we go.
The following is an interview.
Let me.
Hemp wig. Just like.
Okay. We have a goer. This should.
Interview with the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, shot February 6, 2024 at about 7 p.m. in the building behind us, which is, of course, the Kremlin. The interview, as you will see if you watch it, is primarily...
Can you guys hear that? I just want to double, triple, million %. You can hear this? Double audio reverb. Okay, I might have to turn down my headphones. Right.
Primarily about the war in progress, the war in Ukraine, how it started, what's happening,
That's
and
all
most
you can hear?
presently how it might end. One note before you watch. At the beginning of the interview, we asked the most obvious question, which is, why did you do this? Did you feel a threat, an imminent physical threat? And
Echo. Oh, god damn. Oh my god, someone on OBS help me. Someone on OBS help me. Right, we will fix this. Audio capture. I'll mute my mic. Okay.
And that's your justification. And the answer we got shocked us. Putin went on for a very long time, probably half an hour, about the history of Russia going back to the 8th century. And honestly, we thought this was a filibustering technique and found it annoying and interrupted him several times. And he responded he was...
Muted my mic. God damn. Reverb. Okay. Let's try input. Let's delete input, output. No. Of course, I've got to... my mic is muted. I'm just trying to work out if we can fix this. Still doable. God damn. We did know that my technology would fail me at an important moment in this. Right. Let me check one thing. Audio. No, not that. Bluetooth. Let me see if I can turn this down. Audio display. Right.
was annoyed
by
the interruption. But we concluded in the end, for what it's worth, that it was not a filibustering technique. There was no time limit on the interview. We ended it after more than 2 hours. Instead, what you're about to see seemed to us sincere, whether you agree with it or not. Vladimir Putin believes that Russia has a historic claim to parts of Western Ukraine. So our opinion would be to view it in that light, as a sincere expression of what he thinks. And with that, here it is. Mr. President, thank you.
Small table, very small table, considering to what we thought we may have seen. But this is the beginning of the Tucker and Putin interview. Now, there will be points in this where I will speak about little bits and pieces. Not only if that's for a number of reasons, but you can go and watch it yourself if you want to. You do not have to be here. So let's have a look. I think the audio is fixed.
On February 22nd, 2022, you addressed your country in a nationwide address when the conflict in Ukraine started. And you said that you were acting because you had come to the conclusion that the United States, through NATO, might initiate a, quote, surprise attack on our country. And to American ears, that sounds paranoid. Tell us why you believe the United States might strike Russia out of the blue. How did you conclude that?
It's not that America, the United States, was going to launch a surprise strike on Russia. I didn't say that. Are we having a talk show or a serious conversation?
Here's the quote.
Bro, first question in, and if you're starting an interview, like I do a lot of these interviews, if you're starting an interview and your interviewee smokes you on the first question, you are thrown off. Like Tucker there is fake laughing out of like, oh, I don't know what to do. So that is a very poor start. I've had that where someone smokes you on the very first question. Yeah, okay. That may set a tone for the rest of this interview. Okay, let's have a look.
Thank you. It's a formidable, serious
Так вот, это серьезный разговор. Но поскольку у вас базовое образование...
Because your basic education is in history, as far as I understand.
Yes.
Тогда я позволю себе...
So if you don't mind, I will take only 30 seconds or 1 minute to give you a short reference to history for giving you a little historical background.
Please.
We exchange for Tucker.
Вот смотрите, с чего началась
Let's look where our relationship with Ukraine started from.
Откуда она взялась?
Where did Ukraine come from?
Российское государство стало
The
собираться
Russian state started gathering itself as a centralized statehood,
годом создания российского государства,
and it is considered to be the year of the establishment of the Russian state in 862,
Новгород на северо-западе страны,
when the townspeople of Novgorod invited a Varangian prince, Rurik, from Scandinavia to reign.
варягов. 862 год. В 1800
In 1862, Russia celebrated the 1000th anniversary of its statehood.
своей государственности и в Новгороде.
And in Novgorod, there is a memorial dedicated to the 1000th anniversary of the country.
В 882 году
In 882, Rurik's successor, Prince Oleg, who was actually playing the role of regent at Rurik's younger son,
по сути
So many have asked, like, what is he? Here he's trying to justify that where Tucker was saying that because you're saying then because Russia has a historical claim to the land, then that justifies the invasion. Now, I'll leave it up to you whether that does or doesn't. The international law will say that then it doesn't, but he's trying to give a background of this and where there actually is then a claim or not. That is what he's trying to have say there.
функция регента
because Rurik had died by that time, came to Kiev.
к этому времени пришел в Киев, отстранил от власти двух братьев,
He ousted two brothers who apparently had
членами дружины Рюрика,
once been members of Rurik's squad.
имея два центра в Киеве и в Новгороде.
So Russia began to develop with two centers of power, Kiev and Novgorod.
Следующая очень значимая дата в истории
The
России.
next very significant date in the history of Russia was 988.
Владимир
This was the baptism of Russia, when Prince Vladimir, the great-grandson of Rurik, baptized Russia and adopted Orthodoxy, or Eastern Christianity.
централизованное российское государство.
From this time, the centralized Russian state began to strengthen.
Единая территория.
Why? Because of the single territory, integrated economic ties,
Один язык.
one and the same language, and, after the baptism of Russia, the same faith and rule of the prince. The centralized Russian state began to take shape.
Российское государство.
Back in the Middle Ages, Prince Yaroslav the Wise introduced the order of succession to a throne,
На введение престола наследия.
but after he passed away, it became complicated for various reasons.
Dude, you think that I'm yapping? Putin's bloody 30-second to minute-long history lesson's gone forever. Like I said, look, this is going to be a commentary reaction to this. If you want to go watch this full through, which I'd say is probably more entertaining for you, if you want to watch the full thing just through, go to his website or I believe Twitter as well. Go watch it there. But what we're going to do is we are critiquing this as a reaction to it. If you want to just watch it through, go and do it over there. So yapping about the history here, and I think the history is a bit whatever because he's claimed. Like, does that mean then that like England? Look at England. Look at the UK. What historical claim could they have in many? Could we walk into? Can the Brits just walk into the White House? Like, wow, fucking, we were here at one point. So yeah,
жизни.
we've got 10 more minutes.
The throne was passed not directly from father to eldest son, but from the prince who had passed away to his brother, then to his sons in different lines.
Потом сыновьям по разным линиям. Все это привело к
All this led to the fragmentation and the end of Rus as a single state.
привело к раздробленности.
There was nothing special about it. The same was happening then in Europe.
Но раздробленное русское государство стало легкой добычей.
But the fragmented Russian state became an easy prey to the empire created earlier by Genghis Khan.
Хан Батый пришли на Русь,
His successors, namely Batu Khan, came to Rus, plundered and ruined nearly all the cities. The southern part, including Kiev, by the way, and some other cities, simply lost independence, while northern cities preserved
this is
some
not
of
the
their
answer
sovereignty.
that Tucker was after.
но часть суверенитета сохранили.
They had to pay tribute to the horde, but they managed to preserve some part of their sovereignty.
Начало складываться единое российское государство.
And then a unified Russian state began to take shape with its center in Moscow.
Оно начало
The southern part of Russian lands, including Kiev,
тому центру, который складывался.
began
Tucker
to
needs to
gradually
step in and be
gravitate
like,
towards another magnet,
how does this
the
then
center
link up
that
to
was
what has
emerging
happened
in Europe.
2 years ago?
Его даже называли литовско-русским.
This was the Grand Duchy of Lithuania.
Составляли значительную
It was even called the Lithuanian-Russian Duchy, because Russians were a significant part of this
Someone says, I don't
population.
remember Tucker's question. Tucker's question was on the line of, you said that Russia has a historical claim to Ukraine for then this invasion, of course, we saw in 2022. What do you say to that? Now, firstly, Putin sort of smoked Tucker off the bat, and I'd say that is a bit of a tactic as well from Putin to sort of assert that dominance early, if that makes sense. Like, no, this is the way this interview is going to go. So I think that is very interesting. But now Putin's giving a history lesson for the first 6 minutes on history from 1,000 years ago, which, to be honest, I think I love history, but it's somewhat irrelevant to then a war of this. If we want to go way back in history and have a look at where the borders used to fall, or whatever, well, the world would look significantly different. But yeah, this is meant to be a 30-second answer.
They spoke the old Russian language and were Orthodox. But then there was a unification, the union of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania and the Kingdom of Poland. A few years later, another union was signed, but this time already in the religious sphere. Some of the Orthodox priests became subordinate to the Pope. Thus, these lands became part of the Polish-Lithuanian state. During decades, the Poles were engaged in Polonization of this part of the population. They introduced their language there, tried to entrench the idea that this population was not exactly Russians, that because they lived on the fringe, they were Ukrainians. Originally, the word Ukrainian meant that a person was living on the outskirts of the state, along the fringes, or was engaged in a border patrol service. It didn't mean any particular ethnic group. So the Poles were trying to, in every possible way, to colonize this part of the Russian lands, and actually treated it rather harshly, not to say cruelly. All that led to the fact that this part of the Russian lands began to struggle for their rights. They wrote letters to Warsaw demanding that their rights be observed and people be commissioned here, including to Kiev.
I beg your pardon, can you tell us what period? I'm losing track of where in history we are. The Polish oppression of Ukraine.
Yeah, Tucker, mate, we are all losing track of what the fuck he's talking about at the moment. I do understand that this history, it is very, very important to historical time, and it is important to the Russians and obviously important to Putin. But you need to come up with how is this relevant to what is happening now? And I think Tucker is getting lost in this sort of long-winded about what is actually what is going on? When's what?
It was in the 13th century.
Americans and Australians have no concept of the 13th century for our country.
В 13 веке. Это было в 13 веке. Значит, и
Now I will tell you what happened later
дальше и назову даты, чтобы не было путаницы.
and give the
И в
dates so that there is no confusion.
1650, в 1600,
And in 1654, even a bit earlier,
чуть раньше даже, люди, которые контролировали
the
власть,
people who were in control of the authority over that part of the Russian lands
чтобы присылали к ним
addressed Warsaw, I repeat, demanding that they send them to rulers of Russian origin and Orthodox faith. When Warsaw did not answer them, and in fact rejected their demands, they turned to Moscow, so that Moscow took them away.
чтобы вы не думали, что я что-то придумал. Дим.
So that you don't think that I'm inventing things, I'll give you these
Я вам
documents.
отдам вот эти документы.
Well, it doesn't sound like you're inventing it. I'm not sure why it's relevant to what happened 2 years ago.
Ну,
Oh,
все-таки
good job.
But still,
документы из архива.
these are documents from the archives, copies.
Здесь письма.
Well, then, if those documents are ready to go, we can say that there was some level of questions then sent across ready to go. For those who are aware, I did an interview only yesterday with lawyers, with a lawyer, I should say, about specifically then about laws of armed conflict, and I had to send over questions because he's like, "Well, I need to know what to bloody look up." So, yeah, I guess we can then say this question was probably known, so they can get then these archives ready. But Tucker's asked, how is this then relevant?
Here are the letters from Bogdan Khmelnytsky,
Контролировал власть в этой
the man who then controlled the power in this part of the Russian lands
в Варшаву.
that is now called Ukraine.
А после того, как
He wrote to Warsaw demanding that their rights be upheld,
с просьбой взять их,
and after being refused, he began to write letters to Moscow, asking to take them under the strong hand of the Moscow Tsar. There are copies of these documents. I will leave them for your good memory. There is a translation into Russian. You can translate it into English later.
потому что
Russia would not agree to admit them straight away, assuming that the war with Poland would start. Nevertheless, in 1654,
Jesus.
the Pan-Russian Assembly of top clergy
We know that Putin speaks English. Do you think it is a bit of a mind game that he's, specifically doing this in Russian to be like, no, you speak me, and then it will get translated across rather than the other way? It'd be interesting because we know Putin speaks English and can understand, even with then giving it to him in those documents in Russian. I think is a bit of you're in my turf, you're in my building, you're in the Kremlin.
clergy and landowners headed by the Tsar,
часть древнерусских земель вошла в
which was the representative body of the power of the old Russian state, decided to include a part of the old Russian lands into Moscow Kingdom.
перемирие было заключено.
As expected, the war with Poland began. It lasted 13 years, and then in 1654, a truce was concluded.
Мир с Польшей. Вечный мир, как тогда были.
And 32 years later, I think, a peace treaty with Poland, which they called Eternal Peace, was signed.
Отошла к России.
And these lands, the whole left bank of Dnieper, including Kiev, went to Russia.
Затем во времена
And the whole right bank of Dnieper remained in
Россия
Poland.
вернула все исторические
Right. I think that's an important point there. If he's saying that the whole left bank went to Russia, including Kiev, and then the right bank went to Poland. Now, of course, he's talking about history here, and hopefully we'll get into some more relevant stuff soon. I know this is relevant to people, but to here and now for how it's going, that it has dodged Tucker's initial question. But that we do know Russia may want the whole left bank of the Dnieper River, especially in the south where it is sitting. But so far, hopefully we get into some more juicy stuff. But I'm trying to think of how I would have, if I had this interview, what questions would have I asked off the bat, and how do you get out of this pit of how it's sort of going at the moment? I think it started on a bit of a hard note as well. Now, history is incredibly relevant, mate, Ipav, but I think for the history that's being told of, well back 1,000 years, for what Tucker's there to talk about, we need, a quick brief of what's going on, why that's relevant to then the invasion.
Under the rule of Catherine the Great, Russia reclaimed all of its historical lands, including in the south and west. This all lasted until the revolution. Before World War I, Austrian General Staff relied on the ideas of Ukrainianization and started actively promoting the ideas of Ukraine and the Ukrainianization. Their motive was obvious. Just before World War I, they wanted to weaken the potential enemy and secure themselves favorable conditions in the border area. So the idea which had emerged in Poland that people residing in that territory were allegedly not really Russians, but rather belonged to a special ethnic group, Ukrainians, started being propagated by the Austrian General Staff. As far back as the 19th century, theorists calling for Ukrainian independence appeared. All those, however, claimed that Ukraine should have a very good relationship with Russia. They insisted on that. After the 1917 revolution,
so again, if you want to watch just the interview, go and watch it for free on Tucker's thing. But at the moment, we are getting the history. We need to step into a question here, Tucker, mate. You're losing us.
the Bolsheviks sought to restore the statehood, and the civil war began, including the hostilities with Poland. In 1921, peace with Poland was proclaimed, and under that treaty, the right bank of Dnieper River once again was given back to Poland. In 1939, after Poland cooperated with Hitler, it did collaborate with Hitler, you know? Hitler offered Poland peace and a treaty of friendship, an alliance demanding in return that Poland give back to Germany the so-called Danzig corridor, which connected the bulk of Germany with East Prussia and Königsberg. After World War I, this territory was transferred to Poland, and instead of Danzig, a city of Dansk emerged. Hitler asked them to give it amicably, but they refused.
Of course.
Still, they collaborated with Hitler and engaged together in the partitioning of Czechoslovakia.
But may I ask you, you're making the case that Ukraine, certainly parts of Ukraine, Eastern Ukraine, is in effect Russia, has been for hundreds of years. Why wouldn't you just take it when you became president 24 years ago? You have nuclear weapons, they don't. If it's actually your land, why did you wait so long?
I'll tell you.
I'm coming. And in this as well, that Ukraine back then was significantly weaker than the strength it was in 2022. And I think this is an important question too. If you look back in even 2014, Ukraine was a significantly different size military and even in many places population of Russia realistically walked in then. It'll be very interesting to see. I think Tucker's got himself out of the hole of where this was actually heading right there, but it does need to push on why Putin would not have done it back then, of course, after the fall of the Soviet Union.
This briefing is coming to an end. It might be boring, but it explains many things.
You just don't know how it's relevant.
Good. Good. I'm so gratified that you appreciate that. Thank you. So, before World War II, Poland collaborated with Hitler, and although it did not yield to Hitler's demands, it still participated in the partitioning of Czechoslovakia together with Hitler, as the Poles had not given the Danzig corridor to Germany and went too far, pushing Hitler to start World War II by attacking them. Why was it Poland against whom the war started on 1st September 1939? Poland turned out to be uncompromising, and Hitler had nothing to do but start implementing his plans with Poland. By the way, the USSR, I have read some archive documents, behaved very honestly. It asked Poland's permission to transit its troops through the Polish territory to help Czechoslovakia. But the then Polish foreign...
And we're out. We're out. Oh, can you still hear me? Get Willie back. Get Willie back. Wait, is it back or... Shit, I'm trying to bring up a window here. Are we back? Can you guys see? Back with no sound. We're back. Okay. Shit. But I think your stream is being blocked due to issues. Feck. I don't know what the fuck just happened. But I think if I play it again, I think if I hit it again, then we will get hit. Please turn the volume. Oh, sorry, my volume was down. I think if we play it again, it'll get hit. I think it's because then it stopped that we didn't. Let me just double check exactly what is going on here, guys, and then I will chat with you. Other channels aren't blocked. I don't know idea because I got a block. It came up and then everything stopped. And I guess we will... Shit, I don't even know how to check this. It'd typically be on my homepage if anything went wrong. Right, should we give it another go? Do I risk the channel? Do I risk the channel to give it a second shot, or do we not? It said they stopped the stream due to policy violation. You're live, but it's not running. Don't get banned. What can you see at the moment? Is it me with that in the background? It should be. Yeah, look, it's probably, to be fair, I don't want to sound like a mad poos, but I probably can't get, if I lose my channel, I can't pay my mortgage. Let me, are there other streamers doing this? Oh, here we go. I just got an email off. Here we go. Here we go. Due to a copyright match, your stream was interrupted and striked. Streams will be interrupted when copyrighted content is detected. After copyright material is no longer streamed, streams are automatically re-enabled. Right, so if I click play on this again, we will get a strike. And I believe it's 2 or 3 and then you're out. So I don't want to sound like a massive wanker here, guys, but I pay my mortgage off my house. Off YouTube. That's how I put food on the table. I really can't afford to lose this because I have, apparently from this email, I've got a strike, which I think this probably meets fair use. That's why, for those wondering, that's why I was like interrupting and talking over things, is because, you know, that to me reaches fair use. But let me have a look. You got to remember too, people don't want to see or hear what Putin is saying too. There will be mass reporting of people because people don't want this interview to go ahead. Better safe than sorry. Oh, shit. sort of want to keep watching, hey? Meet Kevin is still up, and he's at 60,000 people watching. I don't know how he's still up. Maybe he has permissions to do it. They literally can't stop this. It's everywhere. Yeah, I agree. So far, it is, but it is, someone did say, be patient. We're only 10 minutes in, and I do agree. Do a watch party. We can all watch it online at the same time. I don't know how to do that. But look, guys, yeah, it's probably not. God damn. Can you use an alternate account? Go in his chat and ask. Don't lose channel. Yeah, look, I can't afford to lose my channel over this. God damn. Well, Meet Kevin is watching with no issues. Yeah, that's crazy. We can see it anyway. Right, well. Just the trend today, your channel's every other day. Yeah, I do agree. Look, try audio only if you're concerned with copyright. Look, I think, to be honest, Tucker's team will be trying to protect this to get views on in here. So, yeah, I apologise, but that is just going to be what it is. So, look, I'm probably going to go away and continue actually watching this and have a look at exactly what has been said, what has gone down. Yeah, audio would also strike. Just trying to figure out if I can do something about this because I don't want it to disappoint. Right. So look, guys, if you want to see it, this will absolutely be on Tucker's Twitter. I'm going to guess at some point soon. Oh, thanks, Casey. You have a beer on me. Thanks, man. You do not need to donate. You do not need to do that at all, guys. But thanks, Casey. So it will be on Tucker Carlson Network's channel on his website, tuckercarlson.com. And I actually believe this is important. Like, so far it might be, a bit boring, but I guess what we actually expecting. Thanks, Benny, as well, mate. But in the same breath, I think it is important to watch this, even if you completely disagree with everything that he says. I think it is still incredibly important. It's not Tucker's team struck people. It's YouTube censorship and comments. You can look goofy if you do. You just claim for copyright reasons. As said, only Tucker can do a strike. Yeah. Paramaz, thanks, mate. Tucker's copyright holder, right holder strike this. Tucker wants all the money. We're not sure. Look, I don't think I've confirmed a strike yet, but it's talking about this, so we will see. But it will be important to continue actually watching and see what comes of this as a whole. And I will, look, I'm going to watch this probably now, and then I will break down exactly what has happened. Right. Should we skip a little bit through? Man, it's been 3 months since leaving Israel live streams. Yeah, dude. Look, I'm going to skip. Well, I'll get into this. Where was I up to? So I'm up to 15 minutes.
As I already mentioned,
Let's
in
watch a little bit.
988, Prince Vladimir himself was baptized following the example of his grandmother, Princess Olga. And then he baptized his squad. And then, gradually, over the course of several years, he baptized all the Rus.
Grab a
It was
pint
a
and don't
lengthy
stress.
process.
Thanks, ads. I wish there was like a, on YouTube when you can skip to bits.
Можно как угодно говорить, что такое шпион, что не шпион.
You know, you can give different interpretations to what constitutes a spy, but there are certain things provided by law. If a person
interesting.
gets secret information and does that in conspiratorial manner, then this is qualified as espionage. And that is exactly what he was doing. He was receiving classified, confidential information, and he did it covertly. Maybe he did that out of carelessness or his own initiative. Considering the sheer fact, this is qualified as espionage. The fact has been proven, as he was caught red-handed when he was receiving this information. If it had been some...
Yeah. Talking about, I believe the journalist here. Let's see. And I'm not going to spoil it and have the end, but look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to risk my channel. Apologies. I know you're like, oh, you're a puss. But that is That is what it is. At the end of the day, this is like if you could be sacked from your job because of this. So, look, apologies. I'll message someone and see what he believes. But, yeah. I apologize. I'm going to watch it. We all go through it. But that is going to be the way it can be. He drank the tea. They got Willie. No, they didn't get Willie, man. At the end of the day, there's, I have to play by the rules within limitations and there's ways to do it. Willie, is Tucker doing this for his own gain? Of course he is, Phil. Like, this will have millions and millions and millions of people watching this. There's millions of dollars, tens or hundreds of $1 million involved in this. Of course he's doing it for his own gain, and Tucker is now the best known journalist in the world. Absolutely. Everyone does everything, for there's a piece of their own game. But I do believe, Tucker has intention to release, to release content that is relevant as well. And this is incredibly relevant. And, Tucker, as much as you may hate or love Tucker, he believes in what he's saying. I think that he completely believes, and he sees that speaking to someone like Putin is important. And I actually believe that it is important too. Same reason that I speak with people that are maybe on the other side of things as well. So, yeah, I think it is relevant. I think he knows. Go to watching Tucker interview on YouTube live. Free Willy. I paid for a succulent Chinese meal. I know. Rumble stream. I could Rumble stream. Let me have a look. Right. So I don't know. What do you guys think so far of what was it? We didn't really have too much in it. Free Willy. Now, audio will get done as well, 100%. Look, so I just got another notification. Your stream's being blocked due to copyright reasons. Yeah. God damn, that sucks, doesn't it? Well, legends, I appreciate all of you. I'm going to go back to making then a video for the day. I'm seeing Meet Kevin streaming without getting taken down. I don't know. I got hit with the copyright stuff, so that's just going to be, I believe, how this is going to unfold for us guys. Wilbur, do a reaction. Yeah, we will do that. That's something we will definitely do. So we've been live about an hour. So look after yourselves. Is there anything, apart from the interview now? Appeal the strike. Yeah. I know, appeal whatever it is. Anyway, guys, have a great day. Have a great Friday. Carl, I'm 20 minutes behind the live video, but Jesus, good luck with the Putin simps in the comments. TikTok rod their brain. Thanks for the commentary. No worries, Carl. Look after yourself, dude. I did try. Wait, I just got an email from... Oh, no. Don't worry. Other streams have it. I don't know how they're fucking getting away with it, to be honest. Or do we just do it? Fuck. It's such a hard choice. I don't want to, fuck you guys down, fuck you guys around, but at the same time, yeah. Right. Well, guys, thanks for being here. I think our peak was 8,000 people. Yeah, over 8,000. So, look, thanks for that. Thanks for being here. And I'll speak to you very soon. Yeah, I think you guys are on this. It'll get banned. Yeah. I don't know. The other channels might just be risking it. Maybe in the States they've got different whatever, but yeah, it detects it. Right. Well, guys, thanks for being here. I appreciate all of you. Is there anything you'd like me to, you'd want to ask me about this currently? Appreciate the analysis while it lasted. No, thank you, mate. I appreciate you guys being here while it lasted. Yeah, been feeling well. Right. Apparently it's just one dude striking people. Yeah, I would not be surprised if other people who are doing what I'm doing is then striking other people to have it larger as well. So, yeah. My opinion on what Putin has said so far in the interview, look, we haven't really got far in. He's giving context to it by the history. But as far as what we're here to hear in the interview, we haven't actually really heard from or seen yet. So, yeah. A Tucker Carlson ad just played on the stream. Awesome. Anyway, right. So, look, I'm going to end the stream. Sadly, we were getting nuked. We don't like that. I apologize. That is just the way that it is going to be. Right. Righto, legends. Thanks for everything. For those who did donate and membered and shit, you do not need to do that. There's never a need to do any of that for me. But I do really appreciate it. It does make doing this sort of stuff a lot easier. And hopefully I'll do some more live streams soon if there's anything you'd like to see, as well as maybe come to the States and do some more. So look, legends, I'm gonna manually insert an ad here to pay for my morning coffee. Wait, one more. And then I'm out. Righto, guys. Look after yourselves. Thanks for everything.